Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Today is Friday, November the 21st. Hope everybody's doing well. It's the first one of these I've done this week, so I've been kind of busy and just having time now to throw one together. I do want to show you my in-shop setup, how I have this indoor setup. I don't use it a ton anymore, but I definitely do during winter. If it rains a ton in the spring, I will use it. But it's not, I mean, my goal going forward, well, and I've been doing it for about a month now. My goal is to hit about 30 balls every day. Some chip shots to get warmed up, some wedges, maybe a few 7-irons. But that's kind of my goal going forward into next year, is to just hit like 30 balls a day, just to stay in a little bit of a rhythm, keep the feel of a club in my hand. So I'm not going to come out here and just grind and bang away and knock a ton of balls, but about 30 half shots, chip shots. I will pull it up on the Skytrak and do some yardage gapping, some yardage shots, just kind of, my mind calls something out, 38 yards, and try to hit 38. So the interesting thing about this setup that I have, I literally got it December of 2019, like a month before COVID kind of started breaking out and everything else. So when I got all this stuff, it came quick and timely, and then COVID hit and everybody started buying these things, and I know there was a wait list forever. You couldn't get one. So I just happened to luck out. I got it. It was late 2019 because I set it up, and I actually I've got some TVs over here and was actually kind of watching bowl games in here and hitting. My dad came down and we were hitting some golf balls into the net. So this stuff is all 5 years old. Maybe getting closer to 6 now. As far as the machine, the hitting mat that I'm standing on, and the net return. So everything is 6 years old. I have zero complaints with it. The Skytrak, you just got to do a bunch of updates on it. I mean, it will update and when you need to. It's been reliable. I do think it's very, very close to the top end high dollar stuff. You just got to use it here in your house. You can't take it out with you and everywhere else. And but I think it's been a great unit. This is the original Skytrak, and I know they have a new one out now. For this one, I did have to buy a computer, like a gaming computer. I'm not a gamer, but I had to buy a pretty fast gaming speed computer, so I did have to buy that. If I was doing it over today, the one you would go with would be the Garmin. That's kind of the all-in-one that has the iPad-looking screen on the top, because that's your built-in, basically your computer, your processor, your unit, all in one package. So if I was doing it today, that's what I would actually go with. I don't feel like I need to go with anything right now, just because of how reliable this one has been. As you can see, this is kind of my setup. I've got, golf balls down here. This hitting mat was I think it was called the Country Club, was the name of the hitting mat. It is really thick. It's been thick, durable. It is heavy, so I really don't want to take it inside, take it outside, everything else. Now, I think one thing that's kind of a hidden thing that no one tells you about is this right here. This is basically a workout, kind of one of these you build and you put together like a puzzle, mats. What it does is it basically deadens the golf ball when I hit into it, so it doesn't go anywhere else. It just kind of hits and stops. Stays in this little area. If it was hitting off this kind of, concrete floor or this wood floor, it's going to bounce everywhere, but this kind of deadens it when it hits into the net. So I do really like this aspect. The net return here was super simple to put together. It's all color coded, so you just put it together by the colors. Super easy. This thing has been very durable. The only thing that now is starting to happen is there's this little piece here that is kind of that's pretty thin. That's the only kind of wear issue with the net that I have. Other than that, and even if it does let go, it's not really going to be too much of a pain. I can put some thread on it, hold it together, get it back kind of in the original shape. But I'm not worried. I'm not really worried about it at all. So my system here, as you can see, is here's my laptop here. Now I do have it to where I can hook it up to that TV, and I usually do that, kind of just hook it to the TV so I can see it. The original Skytrak, is right here. and it just runs off that computer. So this is, I'll hit a shot or so just so you can see me actually hit a golf ball. It's a really fun unit to use. It's realistically with the Skytrak, what I use 99% of the time is just the driving range. You can go in, there are some target games, which are really fun. You can make the targets big, medium, or small. We've had a group of guys out here before, and we've done that. During the one bowl season, we sat here and watched games. Everybody brought kind of their wedges or some clubs, and we just hit some balls and did some games, threw a few bucks on it to see who was going to win. So that was fun. You do need quite a bit of space. This room here is about 13 feet wide, and I've got 10-foot ceilings in here. So that's a pretty comfortable range to where you don't really feel like you're super claustrophobic. I do not hit many drivers in here just because I just don't think, I'll hit some, but it just seems like it is kind of weird hitting it inside. I'll hit the hybrids, and I'll hit occasionally some 3-woods. Mainly it's just short irons. My irons I will hit comfortably. There's a ceiling fan right here, and it doesn't give me any issues either. But now I am shorter, like 5'9". So, you know, if I had a buddy that was 6'3", 6'4", and he has a real tall takeaway, then you could get into some ceiling issues or some, you know, ceiling fan issues. But I don't have any of that problem. Let's just see if we can hit a ball here, and we'll see what happens. You know, you just put the ball on the red dot. Hit it into the net, and then it will track it on the computer. And you can see here it's about, what was that, 104, 4 yards offline. It tells you your average, your distance, your carry, all that kind of stuff. So, hey, 4 yards offline, I don't really worry about anything when we get into that category. 4 yards, I can live 4 yards all day long. So that's kind of my setup here in the shop. It is fantastic when the weather gets really bad, though I will say that. It's been a worthy investment for me. I'm going on now 6 years with it. You do have to pay the yearly Skytrak membership. Matter of fact, it gave me a message that I had 21 days left to renew that. So it does have a yearly membership on it, but I just kind of have the basic package with it. So, and 99% of the time, I just use the driving range anyway now. When I first got it, you know, I was into everything. And then you kind of figure out the more time goes on and you say, hey, I got 30 minutes, I'm just going to pop on the driving range, hit some balls and stuff like that. So appreciate you guys watching. I got Halloween, geez Louise. You have Thanksgiving coming up next week. I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving with your families. Appreciate y'all watching these very much. I know they're not the smoothest or the most clean videos out there, so I appreciate y'all bearing with me and watching these. If you would, give me a subscription, a subscribe, a like, leave a comment. If you have any questions, I'll answer anything. If you haven't seen my melon hat review, go over and watch it. This is quickly turning into my favorite hat in the line. This is the Legend style of hat, or it's just one of their brands or within their brand. So this Melon Legend is really turned into my favorite super comfortable hat. So if you get a chance, you haven't seen that review, go over and check out the Melon review. I give a pretty thorough review of all their styles. So once again, I appreciate y'all very much. Hope everyone has a great holiday and y'all be safe. Thank you.